Well, I did a post the other day or yesterday on X where I said that Zionism is white supremacy with a yarmulke on, and that it's nothing but Yiddish for Western colonization. So of course I got a bunch of replies trying to correct me, saying that it isn't white supremacy, it's Jewish supremacy. See, this is them activating the built-in blame-shifting mechanism, which is the whole point. You're literally pointing to the yarmulke as the reason for all this, the reason for the occupation, the reason for the genocide. And I'm telling you that is exactly why they put the yarmulke on in the first place. But either you don't get it, or you don't want to get it, or you don't want anyone else to get it. You know, you somehow want to exonerate the actual architects, the actual funders, promoters, arms providers, financiers, policymakers, and so on, who are in fact responsible for Zionism, who are responsible for the occupation, who are responsible for the genocide. It's absolutely laughable to me. Like, you're strangling me, but you put a sock puppet on your hand. And you want me to actually believe that you're not the one strangling me, it's the sock puppet. This is an insult to my intelligence. Of course, I already know I'll get a bunch of comments of people saying that America is the puppet of the Zionists and not the other way around, because the Jewish lobby, which is not even in the top 20 highest spending lobbies in America, you think that that controls the politicians. This is a bad joke. As if America has to be forced at gunpoint or under threat of Epstein blackmail to support occupation and genocide. The country literally founded on genocide. The country that wiped out the Native Americans, massacred Mexicans, massacred Filipinos, occupied Afghanistan for 20 years, still has occupation forces in Iraq, occupied and colonized Hawaii and Puerto Rico, you know, supports Paul Kagame, who's implicated in the events that led to the genocide in Rwanda, and through him they support M23, which massacres the people in DRC. What are you talking about? America killed directly or indirectly 10 million civilians in my lifetime, in Central America, South America, Asia, Africa, the Middle East, and so on. Now you pretend like they have to be forced against their will, against their character, to support the occupation of Palestine and the genocide in Gaza. This is their character. That yarmulke is only on there for plausible deniability. You'll say, oh yeah, but the Jews impose apartheid and segregation and unequal rights. Oh, you mean like every Western colonial project ever? And look, Jewish. What Jewish? 65 to 70% of all so-called Jews in Israel are atheists. I mean, half of all so-called Jews on earth don't believe in God. So if you go by religious definition, that means maybe 2.5 million Israelis are even Jewish by religion. 2.5 million out of 7.2 million. What Jewish? And ethnically, about 45% of Israelis, Israeli so-called Jews, are Ashkenazi, which means that they're from European heritage, not Semitic. That's around 3.8 million out of 7.2 million. So if you subtract the non-Semitic, non-religious from the so-called Jews of Israel, you're only going to be left with something like 1.2 to 1.4 million actual Jews in Israel. Actual Jews means Semites who believe in and follow Judaism. 1.2 out of 7.2 million. That means literally 6 million white European atheists occupying Palestine and committing genocide. So do you see why this is nothing but white supremacy and Western colonization? Don't be a fool. They just want to label it Jewish so that when the time comes, they can disassociate themselves from it and put it all on the so-called Jews. That little black cap, that yarmulke, is just marking who's going to take the fall. And believe me, when the time comes, you're going to see them swipe that cap off so fast it'll make your head spin. Or you'll probably see Ben Shapiro move to Utah and become a Mormon. Most so-called Jews today in the world don't believe in God. And like 80% of the global so-called Jewish population is not from Bani Israel. So as far as any Muslim is concerned, these people are not Jews. They're not Ahl al-Kitab. They're just European kuffar who believe in Western colonization, Western colonialism, and white supremacy, period.